everybody. Just waiting for a few people. Maybe nobody. Anyway, 2026 is coming and it's going to go off with a bang. 2026 is the year of exposure. Massive truth bombs coming out. TNT news. Totally new truth. 2026. Yeah. So, praying for everyone. I hope everyone is all right, doing well, and has had a few good years. I have had a lot going on. Some of you have been on my different accounts, my Insta, my Facebook, my YouTube, which I obviously haven't posted on, but my Instagram and Telegram. That's where I was mainly until I got sick and tired of all the infiltration and the channels that continuously push the what would you say, Illuminati script. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to be posting more on YouTube again next year, and I hope everyone's doing well. So yeah, just an update on things coming out in the next week or so will be an interview with Emma on the Imagination podcast, going through some of the spreadsheet. Now, we know that I've talked about this a number of times before, but it's been a bone of contention with me in releasing it because, for one, my safety, and two, just the fact that it is the very detailed plans of certain individuals in the world system we call the beast system. It is the very detailed, yeah, plans is all I could say, or very detailed publication of things that they do, but it's written in a way never seen before. That's all I can say. It explains a lot of different things and it correlates in a way that visual learners can see and then go ahead and research for themselves. And then, of course, it's also for the intercessors and those people who love to pray and who will be praying for the survivors. And what we used to say was the babies coming out of the kingdom of darkness. And that could include actually the whole world that's waking up. Because back when I was sharing, it was all about MK Ultra and SRA. But since I started doing the spreadsheet and going through a lot of things through the world systems happening, the movies coming out, and all of those other triggers that I used to get triggered by, I realized that not only were we programmed to, follow the agenda, but through the media, as I was warning, millions became programmed and are programmed. So back on the 22nd of the 7th, 2022, God revealed and gave me that most simplest prayer to pray to break the programs, Alpha to Omega, at every brainwave level, Alpha to Omega. He then got me to detail and break down everything that those things entail in the idols and the principalities and powers and rulers of darkness and those in high places worship and make oaths to and have made agreements and sent out demonic assignments against us. So my goodness, that sounds like a whole lot of gabble. But anyway, this is what the spreadsheet entails. And then what I was thinking of doing was also having it in a separate layout, but in a format which is readable from top to bottom. I just have to let Joseph out. So 1 second. Anyway, how is everyone? So I'm so glad that even though I even though I used to, back 2014, 2015, 16, 17, 18, and 19, I used to, warn people about Delta and all of these things that they were going to do, and the bills and the laws, right down to like the details of warning people about the forced vaccinations bill, the hate speech bill, the euthanasia, the abortion bill, um, many other bills. Uh, Oops, I shouldn't pat him there because I gave him a flea thing. Um, they all came to pass. So yeah, that was all for wakening the deltas up, which a lot of you all know from being followers of mine for a long time. I've talked about delta for years, and it's not a COVID thing. It's not a cold. It is a COVID communication word of principalities and powers and rulers of darkness in high places to awaken the sleeper soldiers of the Black Awakening. I went through a lot over the years, and in my Telegram, it really documents a lot of what I went through waking up, and even after I thought I had programming broken, I went through programming breaking, and it was very intense time in the last few years, but I've had a lot of healing, deliverance, integration. I had done 3 or 4 years now of intercession and prayer walking for me, myself, the boys, then my city, the towns, the nations. I used to tell you about the the house on the hill, the city where many millions will come. My followers, I do have videos of the ships coming to the lighthouse. And I went and warfared, and some of you have been praying with me and other things like that. And another friend and I went and prayed at this place, and it was promised as a prayer house. Well, I've also said in other interviews that when stuff hits the fan and you need to, and you are instructed by God to go, and you end up coming to New Zealand, to go to, um, you know, where the light is shining from the hill. The light will shine from the house on the hill, and the glory of the Lord will be seen there, and all those who come there will be healed and delivered. That has happened. The house has been bought. A woman sold up a couple of houses because she heard of the vision, and she bought it for a few cool $1 million, and it is being set up. So yeah, things are moving and shaking in the nations. Things are going on. A lot's being exposed, and I'm really, really glad that I didn't stop with the truth. All through all of my different social medias, um, I have continued to share my testimony, even though a million times over I thought I was insane, making it up, crazy, deluded, just all of these sorts of things. I even used to think sometimes maybe that I was programmed to think that these things happened to me, but they didn't happen to me, and it was God showing me what happened in my bloodline and stuff like that, all sorts of crazy things just to make an excuse up to help me cope and understand with what we went through. But I do now, I accept most days that I did grow up in a cult, in the Illuminati. I know I was programmed. I was a Diamond Delta. I know I was a leader of the Black Army for the Black Awakening and the Rise of the Phoenix. So, yeah, all of the things I said, like, yeah, it'd be pretty crazy if that stuff, if I wasn't programmed, how did I know all that stuff? That's just insane. Anyway, so, yeah, watch out for the interview with Emma on the imagination. It's quite funny. My heart's been hurting for the last few minutes since I started talking. So, yeah, whatever. Someone was talking about the retaliation. Oh, Emma. Ooh, yeah. So Emma mentioned about the need for prayer for survivors, suiciding or harming themselves after sharing with other people their testimonies. So when you're programmed, there are parts within yourself and also demonic things layered into you that are there to cause harm to yourself when you start to break your programming and go and tell other people what happened or what you went through or what you were programmed for. Um, so I used to sometimes get internally punched in my head. I used to get punched in my stomach. I would feel these reactions in my body, and I do believe psychologically they were reactions or body memories of things that had been done to me in the past, that a part of me was programmed to internally manifest that symptom. So, one of the things that some of the kids are programmed to do is to suicide after revealing that they're being ritually abused or part of this trafficking. So, um, praying for suicide programming to be broken is a must first off, especially for any survivor. So, we just pray to break all suicide programming at every brainwave level, alpha to omega, and over every part present, over every part involved in a person's system of parts. I need to explain that. I think I'm going to start a school. It's a website where a lot of people are gathering and like teaching others things. So I think that's something I'm going to do because people need to learn how to deprogram just from normal programming like TV and radio. In Hollywood, all the way up to SRA, Illuminati, MK Ultra, satanic ritual abuse, and Luciferian ritual abuse, mind control. So, I know I sound totally insane to those who have no idea what any of this is. And that's fine. I've learned to deal with that. Funnily enough. Oh no. What was I going to say? So, what is the Rise of the Phoenix? The Rise of the Phoenix is the New World Order, the Golden Dawn, Golden Era, the Great Reset, one world government, Lucifer coming through the gates into this realm to be worshipped. That's what Rise of the Phoenix is. And you see, my name was Phoenix. I was a mother of darkness in the Illuminati, and I was programmed as a Delta. So I was also to lead a new world order, one world government here in New Zealand. So that is how I knew all the things that I knew. Sorry. Anyway. And if this doesn't get me thrown on the boot of a car, like last time in 2016 and 2019, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, those 2 times, well, actually, every time I've survived is because of what we call God, I guess. People like to term or give him that name. I say God and Jesus Christ of Nazareth. But of course, that's an English name. So, anyway, I know that Jesus Christ of Nazareth came to earth as a man, died and rose again. And I believe that wholeheartedly because I've seen the light man and he came to us in rituals and he used to help us out and he used to heal us like instantly. And he used to take our pain away and he would wipe away our tears and then he would disappear. And there was a couple of times when he brought me back to my body, kicking and screaming my head off. no, I don't want to come back. One time I called him mean words, and I won't say them. And even over the last few years, I've been upset at Jesus for bringing me back to my body, but, it had to happen. And I know that I'll have to go through those things for this coming time, for the times that we're living in, because, all the things that we've got to do, all the things that have been prophesied. And I wholeheartedly, know and believe in the supernatural, and that he did come and he did do that for us and paid the price, paid the ransom, whatever people want to call it, wipe the slate clean. But like I do a lot of prayer, a lot of fasting, a lot of repentance, a lot of renouncing, a lot of stuff like that. So last year, every month there was a fast. Every month, a certain fast focused, different nations, different places, different things, different prayer, different mind control programs, different, just lots of stuff. And so, that is how I have coped and focused and been on target and been preparing for the coming times, which, it's evident when evil people are around me, because demons flee, they manifest, and they can't stand. It's interesting what happens to people, and sometimes people die. But that is, the wages of sin is death. So yes, repent, for the kingdom is nigh. And we've got to be prepared, don't we, Jojo? Yes, we do. It's time to be ready, because 2026 is an explosive year. It's the year we've been waiting for, and I know I've said that again. I've said that before, but oh man, it's like even more so. I didn't think things could get any better, but they have. Like, more survivors are coming out, even though it's as hard as it is to know that it's all the truth, and that we aren't crazy, and that these things did happen to us. At least now we have an answer, like, and especially for those of us who have been sharing for 10, 11 years now, that we've survived presidents and prime ministers and military people and governmental affiliates and psychotic doctors and people who experiment on us and traffic us and all that sort of stuff. It's now coming out that those things are actually real and they did happen. We're not crazy. We didn't make it up. And I also heard, and I now don't bite me, get off, that there is another person who, crazily enough, so I always say I survived Hillary Clinton, and Trump was there, and Epstein too, and a bunch of other people, girl, but mainly people are focusing on them. I could give the list. There was Bush Senior as well. I know I've been around Pence and his wife. There's 117, which is JFK Jr., but there's also John, Helen Mirren, Hunter Biden, because remember, I was supposed to call my firstborn Robert Hunter after Robert himself, because Hunter's not his name. And don't forget Nelia, his mother, is actually called Nelia after her father, Neil Robert Hunter. There's a whole lot of stuff people don't even know at the moment. And there are a lot of connections. Also, back to Finger Lakes, there is a ton of connections going on there. The lakes have been confirmed, which I was the one to share several years ago, that the lakes underneath were connected by dams, and that there was a bunch of trafficking going on in the Finger Lakes. And I told this woman, Heidi, from Watch the Water, And she went to all of the places that I mentioned about. Um, After she showed me Hillary's house, and she didn't tell me it was Hillary's house. She sent me a photo and she said to me, "Whose house is this?" And instantly I replied back, "Hillary's," and it could have been any one person in the world's. It could have been anybody's. It could have been one of your guys' houses, like, but and it was Hillary's, and I just was so shocked, and because it was how I remembered it. And anyway, she went to all the places around Finger Lakes and found the places that I said about. So um, yeah, I used to tell people about the tunnels being in the shapes of constellations, because as above, so below. And I used to tell people that it was when the stars align with the spots on the earth below, like the places which they've set out, like statues and all those points on the earth that are different shapes and things like that. When all of those things align, they expect the gates to be opened and portals and that, like, so Lucifer can come through. But that has never happened yet. There's not been nobody powerful enough strength wise to house the spirit of Lucifer. So I do believe when the Antichrist comes, that it'll just be in spirit form. And yeah, because there's been an Antichrist every generation, and a lot of us that were programmed, there's many of us mothers of darkness, and that who were under the mind control and belief that we birthed the Antichrist or the Pindar. There's like several of us that claim that. So, there's been one every generation. What else do I feel to release right now? I'll just say. 2026 is the year of exposure. Double exposure. Oh, I like that. I did hear that word a couple of weeks ago in the spirit realm. Maybe that is what God was saying. It's double exposure. Ha. I like it. Anyway, there was supposed to be just like a 2-minute catch up. None of my old followers seem to be on, but it's nice to meet you, Scrappy Deppy Doo. I used to love Scooby Doo. That was one of my favourites. And the Smurfs. Funny. Scrappy Doo. No, we've been formed against you, shall prosper. No. Oh, yeah, that's why I explained the rise of the phoenix. Cool. Anyway, so, yes, a lot of my old followers won't be on, probably. I wonder, anyway, I've been thinking about a lot of them for a long time. Yeah, so I just pray that everybody has a wonderful few days, and I feel like I'm going to start the year with a bang and I felt like I was getting instruction to do a long focused prayer time, but I need to settle down and look at the months on the calendar. Next year is going to be explosive for sure. There's definitely things that need to be done, and people that need to stand up and speak out. There are more and more of us sharing specific details, which is insane because they're so similar. But I'm not surprising at the same time. I'm just so thankful so many survived. So many have survived. But merely not enough. And none of it should have ever happened in the first place. But yeah, it did. And it's time to heal it all. As hard as it's going to be. But God's been preparing a people for the 10 years, 11, 12, 20, 40 years now. There's lots of people that I've met over my time that have been awake for like 40 years. So I'm really thankful to know a lot of really, well-grounded mature people who are aware of the times we're in, because, yeah, we're going to need that. Anyway, bless you all. I'm the 1979 version. I was born in 1981. 1981! Alright. New Zealand, they don't want to know. Here in America, Canada, they know about us. Oh, yeah. In New Zealand, there's a lot of people actually know. There's thousands and thousands of people that know. I've met heaps of people that know about this sort of stuff. It's all over different websites, different YouTubes. You just got to find it. A lot of people in the unvaxxed community know all about all of this stuff, so that's not true. A lot of people in New Zealand do know about this stuff. 1979. That's 2 years before I was born. What is it? Anyway. All right. Have a happy new year, everyone.